Okay, hello. Um, I've been meaning to do this one for Madonna for a few days now, and we're talking about this date right here, the 2nd of December, which is tomorrow. Nothing like leaving it to the last minute as usual. Um, Probably nothing will happen, but I just wanted to show you how interesting this is with a couple of things that have been nagging at me for Madonna. There's two things in particular that nag at me. One of them, let me show you them before we get started, and then I'll jump back to them. We'll come back to these number jumps. Um, so the first one is Die Another Day, the Bond film. Okay, and the reason why it's so important, I think, is of course this film actually ties in with GoldenEye as well, because obviously Pierce Brosnan is the Bond in this film, as he is in GoldenEye, and there's a bunch of stuff in GoldenEye that ties back to Madonna. They got to tie Pierce Brosnan back with Madonna in GoldenEye, with the train number and the tank number. Okay, I've talked about this before. The scene with those two numbers that pop up, there's a reference back to Madonna. Okay, with boys and their toys, right? Now, why have we got to tie Madonna with Pierce Brosnan? Well, it's because in a leap year, if we look at Pierce Brosnan's birthday, the 16th of May, the 137th day of the year, 229 days left in the year, and we whip to Madonna's birthday, you'll see 16th of August. You'll see we've got the reverse numbers here. They're twin dates, okay? So they're tying these two characters together, right, through these two films. To be quite honest, I haven't really paid attention in the other Pierce Brosnan films to see if there's actually any Madonna references in there, so to speak. But what's important about the GoldenEye film is the damn jump and all this. I mean, it's absolutely loaded in that whole thing. Even within the little compound area, that whole scene with the dam, there's a whole bunch of references to the dam bursting and water flowing over the dam, all contained within that scene. Okay, but what's interesting is when we move to Die Another Day, not only do we have Madonna in the film doing a cameo, so she's in the film, but we also have the hovercraft chase at the start of the film, which, the hover, the hoover, like the hoverboard in Back to the Future 2, which is the dam scene. We have a hovercraft chase. We have a hover scene as well at the start of Die Another Day. And what's going to be interesting is we'll just go through a few of the actors' birthdays, actors and actresses, and you'll see how it ties back in with these numbers that I'm about to show you with these number jumps. I'm getting well sidetracked already, because there's not really that. I mean, the number jumps aren't amazing, but if you bear with me, we can kind of go through them, and it is interesting, right? So if we go, let's get the easy ones out of the way first. From Madonna's birthday, 8/16/58, right? It happens to be 24,215 days through to this potential death date on the 2nd of December, right? That's kind of interesting with all the. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that Billy Idol and Madonna, they're hooked together between the numbers 125 and 124. So it's almost like they have this connection through those numbers, which of course 1225 and 1224 is Christmas and Christmas Eve. Okay, and really what Christmas is about is the combination of Mary and Christ at the same time. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Anyway, that date, that number jump there, if we just look at it in years and days, it's 66 years, 108 days, which is kind of nice because we've got her birthday numbers back within that number jump there. Okay, now if we jump over to Billy Idol now, we are looking at his birthday here, the 311. Okay, the 311 man. The 30th of November, which is, again, that's the Great Scott. That's St Andrew's Day. Okay, and that is in the dollar bill. Okay. What's interesting is, through to this potential death date for Madonna is 25,205 days. So we've got this nice connection back, with Christmas again here. Okay, so it's, I don't know. I mean, they're not super crazy number jumps, but they're interesting. Okay, just out of interest, there's 990 days between their birthdays. Okay. So anyway, that's the kind of mundane stuff out the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at a date that is right preceding Madonna's birthday, and it's 8/14. Now what's significant about this date, if you've been watching the channel, this number here, this date, ties, it basically is a Pluto number. I'm just going to call it a Pluto number, okay? If you look at an Earth year and then you look at a Pluto year, the difference in days of those years is 1.48, okay? So Pluto is 1.48 days longer than an Earth year, okay? So 1.48, or a combination of those numbers, obviously you could read the 14th of August as 148 if you're English. That ties to Pluto, and if you look at, I've got a video from back before Christmas. Can't remember what. I really need to memorize some of these names of these videos, but it deals with all the numbers to do with Pluto within Lucas numbers. Okay, and so this is well important. Okay, this is 28 days preceding 9/11. Okay, just done it for this year. Okay, so it's 28 days preceding 9/11. Now, what's interesting about this now is if we go from 9/11 through to this potential date down here, we're looking at 82 days. So we have this mirrored number here. Again, it's kind of nice. I kind of like these mirrored numbers because I'm going to show you. Well, we'll get onto it in just a second with Lucas numbers about the mirrored number. Okay, so we have this mirrored number, but what's interesting is this 82. If you remember, let's click off of this a minute. Let's whiz back to here. So if you remember, before I get onto this other stuff, hang on a minute. If you remember the Madonna Ghost Town video, right at the end of it, this is an apocalyptic video, by the way. You know, there's references to nuclear blasts and all kinds of stuff, and everything's wrecked, okay? So this is end of the world stuff here. On this dumpster here, we've got the number 28, right? Again, well interesting. I might even, if I remember, I'll talk about Terrence Howard here, okay? Because he's another 311 man. He's born on the 11th of March. So we've got another reference back to Billy Idol with 311, or even just, well, it's just a reference back to 311, which is, again, a reference back to 9/11, and it all goes around in circles. But here he is, and he's also been doing that, while I'm on the subject of him, he's also been doing that nonsense thing. He's I don't know if it's a show or whether he's really that stupid, but he's been doing the 1 × 1 = 2 BS thing, right? I I can't imagine for a minute he really believes that. I think it's just an act. But I think it's just a reference back to the idea of starting over again, because that, of course, is the beginning of the Fibonacci numbers. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so again, we got this reference back to the starting over again. And of course, Madonna's got, several connections back to 112 as well. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but let's go back to this a minute. Yeah, so that 28 or 82 is showing up in that video, right? And if you go, I mean, I did the video on the specials song, Ghost Town, as well, which has got it's got some 9/11 references in it, and potentially some references to the idea of the deluge as well. So that is kind of interesting there, with the title of that song as well. Oh dear, and there's some tiebacks with Ghost Town and Guy Ritchie, and we could go all over the place with the connections. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to do that. What I want to do though is I want to show you this now. This reference with 82 or 28. Let's check something out, right? Because this is a really important number jump, right? And we're back to Donald Trump. So we've got Donald Trump here. We've got his birthday, 6/14/46. And if we jump through to Labor Day, which is 9/4/28. Okay, so it's a few years off this particular Labor Day. But if we go to that particular Labor Day, the 4th of September 2028, okay, there's the 28 again. That is a number jump of 30,033 days. So we've got all these threes here, the 33 reference going on with being born again. And that's the idea with Labor Day. Yeah, the idea of going into labour and being born again. 9/4, apart, I mean, it's kind of in Back to the Future. I think it's in. I don't know. Well, I know 9/5's in Back to the Future, but what the significance of this is, it's in the dollar bill. It's a number jump in the dollar bill. Okay, this number jump in the dollar bill happens to work with the number. So this number, the number jump that occurs in the dollar bill that takes us to 9/4 in the dollar bill, happens to occur with the number 122. That's the actual number jump that's in the dollar bill. The particular number jump that I'm talking about is from the 5th of May through to the 4th of September. And I call it the Labor Day fold as well. So if you go back the back catalogue, you can probably find a video on it. But this day, this number jump happens to tie in with this day. And look how old Donald Trump will be on that day. 82 years, 82 days old. So it was this tie-in, between, the 122 and this that really, this kind of connection all through the dollar bill. Yeah, it's just kind of eating at me, so to speak. The other thing with the 122, okay, let's go back to this now with the Die Another Day and all that, because this is something that's been eating at me for a while. But this idea of Die Another Day and then just picking out a different date that used these numbers. So of course 10/22, which is the release date of this song, which is in the film Die Another Day, October the 22nd, 122. Alright, so again, picking the 2nd of December gives us that same numerology. So it's Die Another Day. So that's one thing that's been bugging me. And also to do with that, this train wreck that happened in Paris quite a long time ago. But I often refer back to this train wreck because this happened on the 22nd of October, 122 again. And this train wreck, you can imagine, it kind of reminds you of the train going off the cliff in Back to the Future, which of course it has that nice 131 reference on the front of it, which again, from Madonna's birthday to Christmas, okay, so we're talking about Mary and Christ again, is 131 days. That's why I often refer back to that as kind of the Madonna train sometimes, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, super duper important, and it has the 122 in it, and it has a whole bunch of other numbers that relate back to Madonna. But let's go a little step further, because I was just mentioning the 814 that I think is pretty important, right? Especially to do with all this idea of Pluto returning, and obviously Donald Trump's birthday is one of those dates that lands with the idea of Pluto returning. And in fact, the Queen also has that same reference as well. Her birthday is actually a return date for Pluto as well. So what I want to show you is, let's go to the actual film. Okay. Obviously the connection with the twinism with Bond himself, with Pierce Brosnan. Okay. Let's look at Halle Berry first. She's the sort of the Bond girl in this. Check out the birthday. 814. Okay. I tell you just can't write this stuff. And then let's go check out the baddie. He's got the Queen's birthday, the 21st of April. Okay. I tell you, you can't write it. And this gal, we don't have a birthday for her. Rick Young, I don't know how you say that, but he's the 82. He's the 22nd of August, 822. So we've got that 8228 reference here with this other baddie guy as well. Is there anybody else in it that I wanted to talk about? No. So it's just super relevant. Super relevant with the hovercraft chase, and then at the end of that thing going over the edge of the waterfall, kind of like going over the dam. It's just absolutely mental. Release dates. We got the 11s and the 22nd, and the 2s in here again. 1s and 2s. So that's what I wanted to say for that. So I mean, it's not mega amazing. It's not what I'd call mega amazing number jumps, but they're pretty good number jumps. A couple of things I wanted to mention about this other date, which was the Donald Trump date here, the 3rd, which is the 321. If we go from 9/11/2001, yeah, we had that cool 84/84, which is like the double cross again, okay, because the cross happened on 8/4, the eclipse happened on 8/4, or 4/8, sorry. And so the Madame X thing ties in quite nicely with this as well, okay, with the idea of I don't know, it's just the idea of the eclipse kind of, being this day, 123, yeah, which is, if you watch my stuff, you know that 123 relates to 321, and so in Lucas numbers, and so we have this idea of, ending and starting again, okay, death and resurrection. So what I wanted to show you about this, I think I forgot to mention this last time, is that 84 days is 23 years, 11 weeks and 6 days. Where do we see that? So this is really important right now. This is actually probably a video I should probably just do by itself. But check out the dartboard. Yeah? Check out our 23 straight up and down. Right? 23 straight up and down, just add them together, 23. And then let's look across, because we're making a cross here. Yeah, like the cross of Christ. 11, and there's our 6. There's our 11, and there's our 6. So there's our 23, 11, 6. Okay? 23, 11, 6. Right here. Okay? So that's super interesting. Let me just explain one more thing, right? Because all this is sort of all this stuff to do with Pluto is extremely tied to Lucas numbers, and Lucas numbers start with 213. Okay, that's the start of Lucas numbers. Now, we're looking for a date that would represent the end of, that cycle, that particular cycle. And so if you look at Lucas numbers, the 10th Lucas number is 123. Okay, this is what I was just saying a second ago. So the 10th Lucas number is 123, and the total, if you add all the Lucas numbers up to that point, it is 321. So you have these numbers here, right? And obviously we can get our number there, 12-3, out of the 1, 2, 3, and we can read it backwards, right? But what's also interesting is if we were to say the date, like normal people would say it, the English version of saying it, right? It's the 3rd of December. Okay, so we do the 3 first, then the 12 for December. Okay, so we have 3, 1, 2. If we then mirror that, or if we read it backwards, we just put the mirror line up here. Okay, and we're just reading it backwards, basically. It's the mirror of what we see there. We get the start of the cycle here. So this is the start, right here. That's the start of the cycle, 213, start of Lucas numbers. And then this date here will give us the, will give us the end. So it's pretty interesting, that, I thought. What else do I want to mention about this? Right up in this top corner here, I've got 1111 marked. Now 1111, of course, is at the Hoover Dam, the 2 inlet towers on each side of the Hoover Dam. And it's a date that shows up in the dollar bill as quite an important date. If we go 22 days from that date, it's going to take us to 1, 2, 3 there, okay? 12-3. That's 22 days. Now at the top of the dollar bill is the 2 little bunny ears on each side, which is a 22. So we have a 22, and then if we go another 22 days, we're up to Christmas. So that is, I think that's pretty cool as well. Just simply because it's in the dollar bill. This date's in the dollar bill. In fact, Christmas, you can get Christmas out of the dollar bill. So it's pretty interesting as well. And this date, of course, itself is in the dollar bill, because actually I've got a dollar bill up. Let's go look at it real quick and I'll show you. Where the hell is it though? That's the question. I got a couple more things I want to show you. Oh, blimmin' hell, I should show you that stuff as well. Don't even know why that's even up there, but I'll show you it in a second. Remember, we counted the leaves and berries on this side of the dollar bill. It's 254, which is 9/11. Okay, that's the 254th day of the year. Then you do your 155-day jump, and it takes you to 213. Okay, 213, and that's the actual date, the 13th of February. It takes you to 213 there. But like I was just saying, you can mirror that date, and you could change this 213, the 13th of February, through to the 3rd of December quite easily. So that's, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Let me show you this stuff on. Let me show you. I'll just go through this. I don't know when to even bung this into a video, to be quite honest. I don't even know why I was on this. I think I just came across it when I was looking at Madonna for the 21st of November, that last video I did for her. Again, 2 and 1. It was Tweety Pie. Tweety Pie. This is the birthday of Tweety Pie. It's the 21st of November. And I thought, well, that's interesting, you know. 'Cause I can't remember why I thought it was interesting now. There was a connection. But anyway, I thought, there was a connection with Twitter anyway. Oh, I think it was the idea that Twitter's been called to X, been changed to X, and Madame X. I think that was the connection I was thinking of. I don't know. But I thought, well, look when Twitter was founded. 321, March the 21st. And don't forget also, March the 21st sometimes is an equinox date. So this idea of, balance again. And if you flip through to the other equinox date, obviously that ties back with Virgo, the Virgin, as well. That's the end date for, Virgo as well, in September there. So this was kind of interesting with 321 now, connecting back to that last Madonna video I did with the 21st. And while I was on that, you just can't write this stuff. I just happened to, in Donnie Darko, the scene when Gretchen gets run over. Obviously, this clown gets out of the car along with Frank, the bunny. Okay, and then of course Donnie shoots Frank. And we've got this guy actually got the date for on obviously 137 is obviously 137 days left in the year is Madonna's birthday. But this guy's birthday is a reference to, I can't remember the exact date, but it's a reference to 137 as well. And it might actually be on the 13th of July, so it might be the same day as Donald Trump's ear wound. And I did that video connecting back with Donald Trump, the ear wound, to this particular scene, because there's some numbers on the number plate and everything else, and this guy as well. And what's interesting with this clown is this is the scene where Gretchen dies, okay? And I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll just look up her birthday out of interest. And lo and behold, again, that last video, I didn't have this for that video, but if I had I would have been going even more mental. But 11/21. So that was that last video I did with Madonna. So again, absolutely insane as well. And from this, I come across this other thing with the Tears of a Clown show that she did, which was supposed to be on March the 10th. Okay, but she kept everybody waiting, doing rehearsals, and so the thing didn't come on till after midnight sometime, and so it was actually a 311 reference as well. So this was, this was pretty interesting, obviously, because we've just had the 30th of November, and then all the way from basically I'm going to say the 29th of November is a interesting date, the 30th, and now through to the 5th, the 3rd is all interesting. Okay, and of course the Tears of a Clown and the reference back to 311 and 310 as well, because 310 is part of that 311 number jump that's in the dollar bill, depending on whether it's a leap year or not. So this was pretty interesting, I thought, coming across that stuff. I don't really have much more to add to that, really, to be quite honest. There was a really interesting comment. Actually, I'll probably get it up here, actually. Hang on a minute. From this guy here, Jova355. Okay, you go to the Donald Trump video and you can see the post that he made, or she made. I don't know if it's they made. Okay, and what I want to say, there was an interesting number jump. Let's go to it. So Back to the Future. Well, actually, I've got it up here. Do I have it up here? yeah, I have it up here. So Back to the Future Uno, number 1, release date, okay, the 3rd of July, through to 12/3, okay, this year, is a whole bunch of days. But what Jova said was it's 473 months. Okay, well, yeah, that wouldn't mean anything to me, but fortunately, Jova expanded on that, and the 473rd minute of the day is 7:53. Okay, and so at the start of Back to the Future, there's a whole bunch of clocks with 7:53 on it. Okay, well, there's a few clocks anyway that have the 7:53 on. So this is pretty interesting. In fact, one of the first clocks you see, I think it's got 7:53 maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that is a pretty amazing find. So yeah, super duper credit to Jova. And there's some other interesting stuff there written in there as well. So I think there was a couple of other number jumps, but off the top of my head, have I got it in here? Actually, I might have it in here. Was it this one? No. Maybe it's this one. No, there's nothing on that one. I could have sworn I had nothing on that one. No, nothing on that one. There was I can't remember what it was now though. It was something to do with 449 days. I can't remember what it was. Go back 449 days and see where that goes, I guess. I don't really want to do it now and faff around. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. I'm just waffling. Is there anything I've missed off of here? Just this 82. This 82 is well interesting. It is extremely interesting. I don't know if the Hoover Dam is going to come down on the 3rd, but this kind of looks promising for Madonna. I've looked at several dates that looked promising before, and it's just like, it doesn't usually happen. It probably won't happen. But it's just interesting the way everything ties together. That date there, though, does look interesting. This one. It's a few years off, but it does look interesting. I'm going to leave it there. I don't think there's anything else. I'll catch you on another video soon. Maybe. All being well. Anyway, alright. Cheers. Bye.